aboard!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Woodsman Wack-Off, the series that puts two woodsmen face to face to see which competitor can whack off their log the fastest. In today's episode, we have two very appropriately matched competitors, the Stihl MS660 and the Husqvarna 395 XP. The MS660 is 92 cc's. This here particular 660 is outfitted with a BarkBox muffler mod, a max flow air filter setup, and earns its keep by regularly wearing a 36-inch bar and has been a reliable workhorse for many years as the saw that gets pulled out for use in big wood. The 395 XP comes in at 94 cc's and has been Husqvarna's premier large felling saw for the past 2 decades, only recently being replaced by the 585 and 592 XP saws. It is sporting a simple muffler mod with no further modifications. Today's woodsmen are Soft Hand Steve. Soft Hand Steve is a firm believer in using shampoo and conditioner as two separate products. None of this 2-in-1 crap. He also enjoys a nice mani-pedi as often as he can get it. Vinford, on the other hand, doesn't give a damn about Soft Hand Steve's beauty products. Vince Neil said it best. Handful of grease and his hair feels right. Now let's whack off. All right, here they are, revving them up. Old Steve is excited, he gives the thumbs up, and Binford looking like a stone cold killer. And here they are going down the gentle slide down the shaft. And right away it looks like that the 395 XP is taking the lead, and yep, it does. Now time for the tug up. Here we go. Diving into that red oak, pulling up hard on those big 90cc class saws, and oh my god, yes, the 660 takes the lead. My goodness, what's going to happen? It all comes down to this, folks. The best 2 out of 3, and there's the vice grip. Yeah, going at it. And the 395 XP pulls off the win. Thumbs up. Oh, and a flip off. Totally spectacular run for these two saws. Both of them excellent felling saws for big timber, but the 395 XP is a clear winner. Now let's hear what Bodie has to say about it. So if you're a Stihl fan and nothing but a Stihl fan, then you just got your world rocked. But if you're anything else and open-minded, the 395, I think by most people, is considered the better saw. I think. I could be wrong on that, you know. There's nothing wrong with the 660, and I definitely don't want to paint that picture. It is a damn good saw. It really is. It is. But this is how it goes, you know. Stihl produces great saws, just like Dolmar. I guess Dolmar's not producing them anymore at all, but Husqvarna, Echo, there's a lot of good saws out there, but here in the United States, I just see it all the time. It's all the time, and if you watch the channel, I'm sorry if it seems like I harp on it, but I guess it's just kind of what it is, you know. I have no issue with Stihl at all. They produce good products. They're just not for me. I typically don't get them because they are a terrible saw for an enthusiast. An enthusiast is looking to go out there and buy the most saw that he can for the least amount of dollars. And that is almost exclusively never a Stihl. Because here in the United States, you know, the majority of people just see that as, you know, Stihl is hands down the best, and also there is another thing in their head that they say that Stihl is not only the best, it is the only real professional saw. And this is just inexperience. I mean, you guys, if you're watching this, you might be a professional tree man and or woman, I guess. There's a few of them out there, but and you're like, no, Stihl's the only real professional saw out there. I know this because I've been a professional tree climber or arborist or something like that, you know, for 10 years. Well, you know, shit, I knew that was going to happen. Hold on. Hello, darling.
Hey, babe. How you doing?
I am doing well. How are you? Hey. You know, it's good. I'm sitting here whacking off.
Oh, wonderful. I will let you do that.
Okay. Love you.
Forget my medicine. I need it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Love you.
Bye. It's not every day you can just tell your wife, I'm sitting here whacking off, and she's not at least disturbed. Anyways, yeah, what I see a lot is a professional tree person, arborist, or whatever, and well, like my buddy Alex, he's an excellent guy, and he's open-minded completely. But whenever he worked, I think he worked as a tree climber for like 10 years, you know, for a long time. And now he's the guy that goes in and measures trees and takes, you know, notes of what you have. This you can cut down, this you can't, and stuff. I don't even know what it's called. But he is an arborist. I know there's that. But my point is I don't think he had ever ran any other chainsaw at all until he started running chainsaws with me. And then he's like, yeah, that Husky feels great. That Johnson Red is awesome, you know, and stuff. And it's like, and that's just kind of, that's the hardest time I have with Stihl, is not the fact that they're not as good or better than or anything like that. It's just the frickin' brainwashing that their marketing has done. They have a fantastic marketing team, and yeah, heck with this German engineering. We should be talking about German marketing, because the Germans have told the rest of the world for decades, German engineering, it's the best. We've got the best engineers. And they've got great engineers. They got fantastic engineers. But so do other places of the world. They got great engineers in Sweden. They got great engineers in Japan. They've got probably pretty good engineers in Italy. We have great engineers in the United States, but in the United States, we like our products cheap, and our manufacturing process over here means we have the most expensive stuff, and so as a consumer, we chose to buy overseas products, and we continue to do that. But you get my point. My point is it's not that Husky's better or Stihl is better or anything like that. Each brand has better saws, this and that. And the big thing that just gets me is the wrongful knowledge that gets spread around that Stihl is the only, that is the bar. It is, everything is measured against Stihl. And God, I'm so sick of that. You know, I mean, Stihl produces some great saws that I love to run. I had an 028 Wood Boss that was just fantastic. It was a wonderful saw to run. It was excellent. Great saw. The 440 and 460 are great saws. The 500i is a great saw. The 660 is a great saw. But whenever you're looking for the best saw in that class, it ain't always Stihl. And as a matter of fact, I would say it's usually a Husqvarna product. The 50cc class, the 70cc class, and the 90cc class are your big staple professional saw classes. That's it right there. 50, 70, 90. And in all three of those categories, in my opinion, they're beat. They're beat. The 440 is beat by a 372 XP, in my opinion, for various different reasons. The 550 XP Mark II beats the Stihl 261, in my opinion. And the 395 XP beats the 660. And then if you want to go to the newer stuff, I don't think it's news to anybody that the 592 XP beats all comers. You know, I mean, it is an absolutely phenomenal saw. I will be fair though that I have not ran the 661 or 662 saws. And also, to be fair, splitting hairs, you know, it's not that big of a deal that one is a second faster than the other. What I would be more concerned with if I was running a saw 8 hours a day, nearly every day of my existence, I would be much more concerned with reliability and just simply how that saw feels. And the 660 is a great saw. It really is. But I guess that's enough of that. Yeah, it is fun for me to see the Stihls lose. But not because I just hate I hate it when people just automatically assume that the Stihl is better. In a lot of cases, what I find is the Stihl chainsaws will come from the factory turned up further than, say, a Husqvarna product or an Echo product. They'll come from the factory a little bit hotter. Well, what that leads to is obviously a faster stock saw, but it also leads to, whenever you do performance modifications, it's less fulfilling, and you get to a point to where you go, well, I mean, this one completely outperforms it once it has been modified. But, you know, probably the majority of people will never modify their saws. And I understand. I mean, I get it. Y'all don't modify stuff. I get it. I do. And I've always modified everything. I've never had a single mechanical thing that I didn't modify. I was an industrial technician, a mechanical and electrical technician in a big industrial setting. And we ordered this new machine. Where I was working was a place of all things is crazy. We had big hydraulic presses and big extruders and stuff, and what we made was egg cartons. Of all things, egg cartons. Then we got into doing clear plastic egg cartons like this, right? Which, by the way, whenever I drink soda, I prefer Pib Extra. And then I take the empty bottles and I fill them up with water and put them in my garage fridge. Isn't that amazing? So, whenever I was working as that technician, we got in this new machine that would form press clear plastic. And, well, this machine was a multi-million-dollar machine. I think it was like $5 million to purchase this machine. And I had been modifying things, but mostly it was whatever I could order off the internet, and I would modify it. Getting into real fabrication, I hadn't done yet, not really. And but at that place, I learned a lot. It was a great 2 years of my life. I mean, it sucked working there. Go away, B. It really sucked to work there. But what it did for me was it taught me a lot about fabrication. That's a hornet. Hey, hornet. Louie, you don't want to eat that guy. He's trying to eat it. So we took that brand new $5 million machine and immediately cut it up and stretched it. I think we widened it and got it to be what we wanted it to be. So modification to me is just the absolute backbone of an enthusiast's existence. You know, why are you getting these saws and not modifying them? To modify the saw is it's not the funnest part. The funnest part is running it after you modified it. You know, but anyways, that's just all part of the enjoyment. I like to modify stuff, and so therefore I look at the Stihls and I'm like, okay, let's look at the 400, the MS400. I've heard a lot of great things about that saw, and I bet you it's awesome. I really do. I've held it in my hands, and I've thought, damn, this might be a Stihl chainsaw that I need to chase, because that thing just feels great. It feels light, and it feels the right size, and by all accounts, man, it rips. And so I'm like, that's great. But then you get it, and you go, how far can you turn it up? Not far past that. I mean, you can get more power out of it, but it's kind of already there from the factory. And so it's kind of like the Stihl is stealing that fun from me. The Echoes are really great about coming from the factory as underperformers. And, you know, they're cheap. Man, Kevin Smith on the Chainsaw Repair Group, he just posted and shared this link to where you can buy a brand new Timberwolf 590 Echo. You can buy a brand new one now on sale for $300. That is so cheap. Right now it is July the 6th, 2022. And to buy a semi-professional saw, 60cc for $300 effing dollars, my God, that's cheap. You can't get a Husqvarna Rancher, a 450 Rancher. You can't get a 450 Rancher for $300. Definitely not brand new. I think those things are over $400 right now. So that's what an enthusiast looks for, and it's probably the number one reason why I actually don't dig on Stihl. I've told people a lot that the number one reason was the stupid on and off trigger, the on and off choke setup that all the Stihls have, nearly all of them. It's just ridiculous. It's absurd to me. It's dumb as can be that you would push the switch down to run and then flip it up to shut it off. I mean, you want to shut off to be quick. You want to be able to just hit it and shut it off. But whatever. It's potato, what you're used to and everything. But I definitely don't like that. And I don't like how they can be complicated to work on. But the number one reason probably is just you can't get good deals on a Stihl. You know, you can't go out to an estate sale and find this barn find old Stihl and get it for $40 And then you're like, yeah, and you get it running, and you play with it, and you enjoy it for a little while, and then you turn around and sell it for $200 or $300. You can't do that because the people selling Stihl chainsaws so often, they ask like retail price, even though it's been beat to piss. It's like, what? What are you talking about? This thing doesn't even run, and you're asking $300 for it? It's got a fried cylinder. Completely, you know, and so therefore, I tend to go for the Husqvarnas, even though they're not cheap either. But the ones that are really fun to get are the old Polands. I just picked up one I paid $30 for. Whenever I get that thing running, it'll run just as good. It'll run just as good as a 346 XP. I mean, you know, and a lot of people think, well, but it don't last, you know. So far, I haven't had major problems. I mean, they seem to work great for me. I mean, granted, I do understand that there's a difference. If I was doing this full time every day and stuff like that, either I would choose a different brand than Poland to be my saw, you know, or I would make sure and have multiple backups, you know. I mean, there is a difference. I know. I'm not stupid. But they're fun. I like to use them. They're really enjoyable. And since I'm just like an enthusiast or a aficionado, I'm a chainsaw aficionado. I need a pipe. Boo. The Polands just work, you know, they're enjoyable. Fun to get them running, get some performance out of them, and enjoy it. Anyways, big old long stupid ramble. As always, that's one thing you can count on. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the whack-off, and I'm out.